The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. A $1 billion disparity. Prime Minister Davis says the Min's administration masked government commitments. And the Prime Minister says the BPL rate reduction bond will likely cause electricity bills to increase 20%. And that VAT reduction coming by January. But Opposition Leader Minna says Davis's comments are reckless. We've got it all for you this morning. It's all straight ahead. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, October 28th, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us. Also this morning, we've got another drawing of the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. And in Morning Blend Business, more on the supplemental budget and analysis on that. So that's coming up. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the Min's administration did not account for $1 billion in liabilities in its pre-election economic and fiscal update report. That's according to Prime Minister Philip Davis, who revealed this during the supplementary budget communication in the House of Assembly yesterday, claiming that there was a disparity in what was reported and the truth. Davis, who also serves as Minister of Finance, says he requested a full accounting of the government's fiscal position after he came to office last month. As a result, according to the Prime Minister, a renowned accounting firm has been reviewing information that was provided by the Ministry of Finance with respect to the liabilities of the government as of September 30th, which is approximately 1 month after the issuance of the pre-election report. Davis telling the House that the numbers provided by the Ministry of Finance for the period ending September 30th reveal a $1 billion difference from the numbers provided by the previous government. He says that these numbers excluded over $1 million of contracts executed by the Ministry of Works for which no funding had been provided in the budget. However, the expenditure tables show no appreciable addition to the Ministry of Works budget. The Prime Minister also says that this omits underfunding of pension and gratuity payments for public officers, which is now being addressed in the supplementary budget. And the pre-election report omitted a loan assumed by the government for which the only source of payment was BPL, an entity with significant financial challenges. The Prime Minister also said the pre-election report excludes amounts owing for taxes for a star witness in a criminal case of a former cabinet minister. And he says it excludes court judgments made against the government for which funding now has to be provided in this supplemental budget. Davis said the report also makes no mention of potential liabilities emanating from contract breaches committed by the former administration. In response to this, leader of the opposition, Dr. Jimenez, saying that Prime Minister Davis's comments were reckless and dangerous. He said that Davis basically accused the former administration of hiding $1 billion. During a press conference after that session of the House yesterday, Jimenez saying, quote, "That was a very reckless and dangerous statement made by the Prime Minister without providing the evidence. I'm certain the entire Bahamian populace are waiting for the evidence." He basically said that we have hidden $1 billion in such a short space of time. That is a reckless and dangerous statement. He must provide such evidence as the debate proceeds. More from what the Prime Minister had to say yesterday. He says BPL's rate reduction bond will likely result in a 20% increase in electricity. The utility company had hoped to place the rate reduction bond to raise more than $500 million before the end of the year, but first needed cabinet approval and legislative amendments to facilitate the fundraising activity. However, former Prime Minister Dr. Jimenez dissolved Parliament and called a general election before those changes could be made. And the Prime Minister also saying that VAT will be decreased from 12% to 10% no later than January 1st of next year. He said that the matter was supposed to be laid before Parliament yesterday, but the drafters are running behind. But he says by next week, that legislation will be laid. When pressed on a specific timeline, he says they're still working it out, but that January 1st by the latest, it should come into effect. Prime Minister Davis also announcing that the government will increase public service pensions on December 1st. Prime Minister announcing the reinstatement of increment payments for public officers and a $500 lump sum payment this Christmas to people receiving COVID-19 unemployment assistance. He says the pensioners receive no cost of living adjustments, and many of them have a combined income of less than $500 per month. He says it's not surprising that these folks have been suffering greatly during this economic downturn. And the government will investigate concerns raised by a group of mothers over the state of the maternity ward at Princess Margaret Hospital. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville confirming this. A group of 5 women held placards in Parliament Square yesterday protesting the conditions at the ward. The same group held a similar protest on Saturday. The women are protesting what they say are the poor conditions on the ward, and are calling for the minister to address the matter. Before entering Parliament yesterday, Prime Minister Davis stopped and met with the women. In Parliament, Darville also addressed the matter and says that they will investigate all of these matters. Overseas, from Russia, the capital, Moscow, started a non-working period today intended to stem coronavirus infections as new daily cases and deaths from COVID-19 surged to all-time highs. The government coronavirus task force reported 1,159 deaths in 24 hours, the largest daily tally since the pandemic began. It has brought the country's official corona death toll to 235,057, by far the highest in Europe. The number of new daily cases rose by 40,096, topping a previous record reached earlier this week. In a bid to contain the spread, Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered a non-working period from October 30th to November 7th, when most state organizations and private businesses are to suspend operations. He encouraged the most affected regions to start it sooner, and some introduced the measure earlier this week. Moscow followed today, shutting most stores, kindergartens, schools, gyms, and entertainment venues, and allowing restaurants and cafes to open only for takeout or delivery. Food stores, pharmacies, and companies operating key infrastructure remain open. Access to museums, theaters, concert halls, and other venues is limited to people holding digital codes on their smartphones to prove they've been vaccinated or recovered from COVID-19, a practice that will remain in place even after November 7th. Putin has also instructed local officials to close nightclubs and other entertainment venues and ordered unvaccinated people older than 60 to stay home. The government hopes that the non-working period will help curb the spread by keeping most people out of offices and public transportation. But many Russians quickly sought to take advantage of the time for a seaside vacation ahead of the long winter season. In sports, the final competitor, the Bahamas, for the Bahamas at the International Boxing Association's Men's World Boxing Championships, Carl Heald, suffering a 3-round decision loss to American Oved Barty El II. This was in Serbia yesterday. Heald, who fought in his third AIBA World Championships, lost on points in the light middleweight category as all 5 judges scored in favor of the American. You can read more about this in today's Guardian Sports section. And the Nassau Rowing Club had athletes in action over the weekend as they competed in the popular Head of the Charles Regatta in Massachusetts. The club fielded 2 teams, the men's fours teams and the women's youth doubles teams. You can read more about that as well in today's Guardian Sports section. From Major League Baseball, the Astros getting past the Braves. They've tied the series now. Houston getting a 7-2 victory over Atlanta Wednesday night that evened the Fall Classic at 1 game apiece. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your first look at weather for today, we've got a weak frontal trough that will continue to dissipate across the central and southeast Bahamas, while a stronger secondary cold front, along with its associated activity, will migrate into the extreme northwest Bahamas later today through Friday morning. Beachgoers in the northwest Bahamas should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents along south and west coast beaches, while boaters should remain alert for possible waterspout activity. And there is a risk for severe weather in the northwest Bahamas by this evening through Friday as that front and the prefrontal activity rolls in. So, for the northwest Bahamas today, we're looking at variable cloudiness, breezy and hot conditions with a few passing showers through early afternoon. Expect increasing cloudiness with scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms from this afternoon through tonight. Some showers may be heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Small craft cautions in effect. Boaters should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers or thunderstorms. Wind southwesterly at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 7 feet. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy and hot with a few passing showers and a slight chance of an isolated thunderstorm. Variable cloudiness with a few scattered showers and the chance of late evening thunderstorms, mainly across the central Bahamas through tonight. Small craft should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Wind south to southwest at 10 knots or less, seas 3 feet or less. We're expecting highs to get up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll tell you more about this cold front and what to expect for your Halloween weekend after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
You are listening to Morning Blend When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
People helping people to help themselves.
Alright, watch this. The credit union of the Bahamas, job calling and up on them. This the plug.
People helping people to help themselves.
Don't believe me? Join the credit union and watch your money grow like Chef and Neil.
Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Yeah, go join one.
Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make.
More money, stop that.
Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Let me get my money down.
Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make.
Join the credit union.
Watch your savings grow with higher interest rates. Become a member and purchase some shares. And ownership is coming your way. They offer local banking members no owner, personalized service. Come and join the credit union and your choice will be the smartest. Like credit unions are a smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
We are working to protect our country, our people, and our livelihoods so that we can move forward. The vaccine is safe. The vaccine is easy. The vaccine is essential for our recovery. If we want to rebuild our economy, if we want to get back to our jobs, if we want to get back to our lives, our families, we must do this together.
What does Christmas mean to you? What about making a loved one's face smile bright or driving your own car? CIBC First Caribbean gives you up to 100% financing on auto loans. Apply online and let our auto financing take you places this Christmas. Visit CIBCFCIB.com for more information. Terms and conditions apply.
Wake up today. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Laverne Gardner. Laverne Gardner, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. How are you up there in Grand Bahama?
I'm great.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. We have a lot to talk about this morning. And folks who can join us are on Twitter at MorningBand969 or Facebook, facebook.com/MorningBand969. You can text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. And we'll give you the numbers to call in just a bit as well. Coming up this morning, more weather and traffic, and all morning long, we're going to be talking about what we heard in the House of Assembly yesterday, and we heard outside the House of Assembly yesterday, and the reaction to what's coming and what we were expecting to come, all of that throughout the morning today. Plus, we've got another drawing of the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle, so a lot to get to. Let's begin right now with what's in the news. So many big stories, and it depends on who you talk to, which one is bigger, but the big headline in the National Guardian, $1 billion disparity, right? But right underneath that is PM VAT reduction coming in January 2022. That means just a few months away, but VAT to be re-added to breadbasket items. So people are like, huh? Well, okay, we'll get to the VAT thing in just a bit. I know that's a big one, and everybody's concerned about that because for most people, I suspect, your pocketbook, your wallet, what happens there, it's going to be a little more important to you than government shortfalls, and even though they are all related, and what happens to one will impact the other, but what you can feel directly, I'm sure, is going to be at the forefront of a lot of people's minds. I don't know if you see it differently, Laverne, but anyway, $1 billion disparity. Huh?
I do not.
You don't see it? Okay, exactly. But hey,
One thing always impacts the other.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's talk about what the Prime Minister had to say yesterday. Take a listen to this report from from Vanik Tood with our partners at our TV.
The numbers provided by the Ministry of Finance for the period ending the 30th of September 2021 reveal a $1 billion difference from the numbers provided by the previous government in their pre-election report.
Davis says he requested a full accounting of government's fiscal position, adding a renowned accounting firm has been reviewing information provided by the Ministry of Finance as of September 30th, which is 1 month after the release of the Minister administration's pre-election report.
It is painfully clear that the pre-election report was an incomplete presentation of the government's contingent and real liabilities. For example, it excluded over $100 million of contracts executed by the Ministry of Works, for which no funding has been provided in the budget.
According to Davis, the pre-election report also omitted a loan assumed by government for which the only source of payment is the cash-strapped Bahamas Power and Light. But that's not all the firm found.
The report excludes amounts owing for taxes for a star witness in a criminal case of a former cabinet minister. This is a very unusual arrangement, which is supported by a promissory note signed by a senior official of the Ministry of Finance.
Davis promised to present the final report to Parliament, but warned not all of those financial obligations can be met in the existing framework. Then there's the issue of borrowing. Davis said the former government entered into an IMF loan without a legal opinion to confirm whether government could comply with the terms. As for the financing provided by the $100 million World Bank loan to expand hospitals on Grand Bahama and New Providence, Davis said it was poorly planned and managed.
They have the money. It's in the central bank somewhere. They draw it all down, even though no architectural drawings had been completed, even though final costing had not been completed, and even though no contract had been signed.
The Prime Minister also slammed the BPL rate reduction bond, which threatens to saddle Bahamians with a 20% increase in electricity bills due to delays in the offering.
The cost associated with this floundering attempt to obtain the bond, I'm advised, is now far in excess of $20 million.
Reporting for our News, I'm Vonique Tude.
Okay. A lot said there. Let's get your reaction to it, and then we'll get to what the opposition is saying about this. Or maybe we should get to what the opposition says. Let's do that first, so you can hear what they're saying. Then we can talk about this and see what's happening, what's accounting for this $1 billion. That's when you're a big timer, hey? You could just accidentally miscount $1 billion. Here's what the opposition is saying.
Interesting.
It is quite.
You would use the word miscount.
Take a listen to this report from our Berthany McDermott.
He's basically said that we have hidden $1 billion in such a short space of time. That is a reckless and dangerous statement. And he must provide such evidence as the debate proceeds.
Opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis hitting back at the Prime Minister's assertion that there is a $1 billion difference between the Minnis administration's pre-election report and the truth.
We have always complied and followed the law. We have not deviated. We are a law-abiding administration.
Shadow Finance Minister Kwesi Thompson also slammed the Davis administration's supplementary budget communication, calling it political rhetoric, filled with half-truths. As for the Prime Minister's assertion that over $100 million in Ministry of Works contracts was excluded from that report, Thompson insisted the former government followed the law.
As you know, the Prime Minister didn't provide any details as to what $100 million contracts he was speaking about. My response to that is the pre-election report, it complied with what the law said it should comply with.
Well, the official opposition also taking issue with the government's plan to reduce value-added tax to 10%. This as they're suggesting Bahamians will have to pay more on breadbasket items.
What they have said is that they will decrease VAT, but what they have not said is that for all of those items that were previously zero rated, it will actually increase by 10%. And so the cost of food will go up.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Okay, all right. So you got to weed through this. There's a lot being said, and a lot. Also with BPL, do you remember this when they talked about this, the bond, the rate reduction bond? That there was concerns that people would see an increase in their bills. That was the initial talk from when this was first announced. So that's always been a chat. It was going to be a challenge for some people. That was said, and there was a lot of uproar from then. So, but what we were told was that by raising this, they'd be able to bring down the debt, and this would, in the long term, would benefit everybody. But in the short term, there might be a spike for some people.
Numbers were. Now we know that there will be the longer this drags on, and they can't work out all of the details and get everything properly funded. So we're looking at 20%, according to the Prime Minister, increase.
And VAT on breadbasket items. And likely...
But we're not going to go there yet.
No? Okay. And
that's what you said. I'm just reminding you.
Right. Well. And then remember now that there's no VAT if your electricity bills for BPL are under $300. So
Is that going to be changed as well?
That's the question. Is that going to be changed as well? Since this party, the PLP, especially when they were first introduced VAT, we know that they were following the New Zealand model to have very few, if any, exemptions.
All right.
That VAT, and that's where that saying, VAT on everything, came from, because it would be on everything. Thing.
So we're going back now
there.
to when VAT was first introduced, except it's going to be at 10% across the board. Well, maybe not across the board, because we haven't heard anything in terms of the bills. What about medication?
Right, I was going to get to that.
There was certain medication
That's right.
that was VAT free,
and insurance as well. Some types of insurance. So what will happen?
What will happen in those areas? So do they remain VAT free, or is that going to be 10% as well?
That's
the
$1 billion question.
Right. We've been saying since the Progressive Liberal Party was on the campaign trail and their manifesto and talking about the reduction of VAT by 2%. We've been saying, how do you make up the shortfall?
Right, exactly.
So because we understood from a financial standpoint that we had to make that money up because we need it, right?
Right.
So if we
nothing's for free.
It,
nothing's
right,
for free.
Nothing. What is the saying? There's no free lunch.
Yeah.
I like to say that the devil is in the details, because something may sound really good on the outset, but let's read the fine print. Let's read how this is going to work. And now we see that in some part, the way that it's going to work is that it's going to be reintroducing VAT on bread basket items. Interestingly enough, bread basket items are the things that I would say Bahamians frequently purchase. There are other items in the grocery store that you may pick up every month or every 2 weeks, but bread basket items generally speak to the things that you purchase more often. And that's what's going to be impacted.
Yeah. All right.
So the exception of the baby, the baby items, but the baby cereal and food formula and all of that. But again, this is how you make up for the fact that you were reducing VAT by 2%.
All right.
So is it worth it?
Let's read what's in today's NASA Guardian and see if there's any hints as to what's going to be happening here. Our Jasper Ward writes about this. So value-added tax will be decreased from 12% to 10% no later than January 1st, 2022. Prime Minister Philip Davis announced this yesterday. He said, quote, "It should have been laid this morning, but the drafters haven't gotten it to me. It will be coming. By next week, it will be laid." When pressed on a specific timeline, he replied, "We're still working those modules out. The latest will be January 1st because we need time for businesses to recalculate their systems." In a communication in Parliament yesterday, the Prime Minister said the reduction in VAT will help Bahamians and the economy. And he said, quote, "And the reduction is being managed in a way that is fiscally responsible. The Ministry of Finance team has worked long hours along with some of the brightest minds at the University of the Bahamas and the Government and Public Policy Institute, as well as with international consultants, to perform extensive modeling and financial analysis to ensure that the VAT reduction does not adversely affect our fiscal position. With the reduction in the VAT rate, we are eliminating the zero rating under VAT on a variety of items. Price controls are in place to ensure breadbasket items will be fairly priced." Now, this is what we were talking about earlier. The VAT exemption for electricity bills and the special economic zones are untouched. Okay. Untouched. How long will they be able to keep that up? Okay, so the VAT exemption for electricity bills and the special economic zones are untouched. Now, in the Davis administration supplemental budget, which was tabled yesterday, it forecasted an $80.5 million increase in VAT revenue this fiscal year. A reduction in VAT was among Davis's key promises while on the campaign trail. The tax was originally introduced at 7.5% by the Christie administration, under which Davis served as Deputy Prime Minister back in 2015. It was increased to the current 12% by the Mintz administration in 2018. While in office, the Mintz administration also eliminated VAT on breadbasket items, medical insurance, various medication and prescription medication, tuition, electricity up to $300, water up to $50, among other things. Office of the Prime Minister Press Secretary Clint Watson confirmed yesterday that VAT will apply to breadbasket items once it is reduced this year. It is unclear if VAT will be applied to medication, medical insurance, and water bills. It's still unclear about that, but apparently electricity will be spared under $300. Mm-hmm. Davis,
well, I will just say we have to brace ourselves because that may be coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was clearly stated that the electricity bills under $300 would not be impacted, but we aren't sure about those other things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
that we don't know if by the time January 1st rolls around, we're hearing an announcement that, you know, and I love the way it's worded, the zero VAT rating on insurance or certain types of insurance or on medication. We had to make changes with that.
Yeah. Until it's drafted and we see it in writing, I don't know anything, right? Because what happens today and what we, especially now that people can't find $1 billion, who knows what'll happen by the time that is laid before the Parliament. But hey, we will see. We will see. There's more on this. Davis says that, quote, when VAT was first introduced in the Bahamas in January 2015, it was designed as a broad-based tax similar to the New Zealand model, deliberately simple in design and ease of administration, with relatively few exceptions or exemptions. The implementation of VAT in the Bahamas was efficient, and we were praised internationally for our very successful launch. In recent years, however, the country's tax policy has moved far away from the original plan and intent. Indeed, through the actions of the previous administration, the VAT base has been eroded by the implementation of many classes and types of items being zero-rated. These changes were considered by experts to be ill-advised and poorly executed, who believe zero-rating schemes are an ineffective and inefficient way to provide relief to the vulnerable in society. Instead, there's a preference for targeted relief, such as conditional cash transfer programs. My government is committed to increasing direct cash transfers to families who need the support with the reintroduction of the RISE program, about which you will hear in more detail from the Minister of Social Services and Urban Development. Based on the modeling and analysis conducted by my team, we are confident that with the elimination of zero-rating categories and the economic uplift to consumers, government revenues are protected. Government revenues protected, okay. The model and the analysis of the results will be published on the government's budget website. I requested that the modeling with respect to the 2018 increase in VAT also be published, but I have been advised that it is conveniently no longer available. What now? Okay. All right, so, government revenues are going to be protected. Those who are vulnerable in the society will be protected, but all the other people in the middle, well, y'all can afford it, apparently. So let's hear from you. What do you all make of it? I see the text messages are flying in, lots of them already. Let's get your views on all of it. So much said. Is it someone's just not seeing where that billion went? What do you make of the VAT issue? What do you think about BPL? So many things here. And of course, the opposition says, well, clearly they are being reckless.
I find it interesting with the $1 billion, the wording of the now opposition. The report complied with the law. You know, the words are intentional. Mm-hmm. You know, both the former Prime Minister and the former Minister of State Finance said, or more than one, the report complied with the law. So what does that mean? Because for the average person, do we know what the law requires? Are you saying that you did what does that mean? That may mean that the law just said that all you have to do is, provide certain things. And so, hey, we did that. It may have complied with the law, but was that a full report? And so when we hear a $1 billion difference, and then, the Prime Minister goes into saying, they are basically saying that we hit $1 billion. I didn't get that impression that they were saying that the current Prime Minister was saying that you hit $1 billion. I believe that the current Prime Minister was saying that you did not include $1 billion in that report, and then went on to itemize things that should have been in the report that was not in the report, that would have given everyone a better view of where we stood financially.
Yeah.
But, we have this play on words.
Well, they're good at that. They're very good
to
at that.
deflect,
Yes.
to deflect and distract.
I think there's a little bit of that on both sides.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so and that is why for us, the listener, for us, the general public, it's important to listen to the words that they use. Those words are intentional.
Yep, this is going to be an interesting debate. It's going to definitely be. Let's hear what you say, folks. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's go to this call. Good morning, caller. On Morning Blend.
Doing Dwight?
Hi, doing well.
How
Good
you
morning.
doing, Laverne?
Good morning.
I feel like we are back in the olden days again, because I'm trying to understand what is going on with this new budget, like how you are trying in the media, and a lot of being in dark. So what is going to happen with insurance, medication? How much person have $300 like bill? I'm only asking.
What do you mean?
Every month. You say there was no bottom like bill under $300.
Well, what do you mean? You think that sounds strange to you?
It does.
I haven't paid VAT on my light bill since they introduced that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Good, all right.
Yeah, neither have I.
Yeah.
All right, you two are most watched it, but how many humans who have lost their jobs, who are in a worse economical pandemic ever in the Bahamas, in the world, I should say? Why we still paying VAT on insurance and medication in this day and time? Or we don't know it yet?
We don't know what they're going to do. The
yet.
FM took it off on some of those things, and
exactly. So
yeah.
When I hear people putting blame on people, the prior administration, this administration, everybody have friends with businesses with own insurance company. I am assuming. So everybody putting things in place for their friends and family, and also. I'm only asking.
Well, taking the VAT off the insurance, I don't know if that's going to help your friend who owns an insurance company. Does that do anything for them?
when you we are not sure yet, Dwight, but he said, you're not sure, we're not sure, the public is not sure.
Uh-huh.
So if you add VAT back onto the health insurance, what is it going to cost the people, us, who pay insurance?
That's the question, right?
That's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, we need to, don't tell me half of the story, tell me the whole story.
Yeah.
I don't feel like in this day and time you should be playing politics as you is the government now. You are the government. Come and tell us the truth. Let us know what we're facing. Because in January 2022, it's going to be right there and snap our finger. This is the end of October.
Yeah. I think they're still doing their calculations to see what will happen if we don't put it on, what will happen if we do, so they're doing all the
mind game. And that's why I feel like like how you were saying yesterday, every 5 years, I feel like each government sells a dream. I feel like we're being played, and everybody is in it for beneficial for their pocket. That's how I feel. And a lot of Bahamians feel that way also.
Yeah.
So we need to come down to the nitty-gritty, sit down, stop blaming people, put the budget together, Bring it to the people. If you can borrow a big lump sum, borrow it, knock it off, but stop playing the blame game.
Okay.
We done put the government out of the country for that for the last 5 years. You, as new administration, be upfront, give us our bill, and let us know we got to pay for the next 30, 40 years. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see. We need to know. We do need to know. That's very close. Very close. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi. Good morning.
And good morning, Lorraine.
Laverne.
Yes.
No, remember I said last week, for him, I'll be Lorraine.
And that's my mom's name, so Lorraine. So, yeah, that's fine.
That's okay.
Wow.
You try so hard to remember it, so it's okay.
Oh, Lord. Okay, the word. Yes, I also feel like, when it comes, first of all, let me say this. I want to give the Progressive Liberal Party a kudos. Sorry, I didn't vote for them, right? But at least, and I said that to say a promise, right, that the Davis administration campaign on was the fact that they're going to reduce what? Now, the implications what can come with that reductions, right? We know we have to bear the brunt of it, right? But at the end of the day, he did fulfill a promise, right? And I believe that is I believe I have to give him kudos for that because, to see we had prime ministers that would never take the initiative to live up to any promise, right? Especially this early inside of the administration. But despite saying that now, when it comes to the actual the what increases on bread basket items, right? Mm-hmm. I really looking to see how that is going to play out, because like you guys indicated, those items are items that people purchase on a daily basis, right? So I really anxious to see how that is going to work out. Now I heard they say there's going to be implementing a higher what they call it, salary for minimum wage in December. I don't know if that can help the person to deal with this.
They didn't say December, but
they
they have said that they will seek to increase the minimum wage. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but wait, let me ask you this question: do they have what on mortgages?
Of course.
So now that what is now the not now, but when it becomes a 10, does
wait, is there VAT on mortgages? Wait,
I ain't sure.
Anyway, okay, but go make your point.
I would just say I have a mortgage, and I even
Yeah, that's. Hold on, go on, keep talking. I'll check. There's so many things. It's so tricky. How many? What's what and what's not?
So shouldn't persons would have mortgages if there is a 12% on them, right? Shouldn't they?
No VAT on
mortgages.
2%? No VAT on mortgages. No VAT on.
No VAT on mortgages.
VAT on all the other fees and everything, but not on mortgages. Right? I remember that now. Yeah.
So, but we should see a return on those fees then.
No. What? That was then, and this is now. So it doesn't work like that. You won't get your.
That's what I say.
No, that'd be great, but no. Yeah, that won't happen. Listen to this text here. Do you agree with this? It's better to pay 10% on bread basket items, than to pay 12% on everything. You will hear how good it will work out later by the sensible accountants.
But we weren't paying 12% on everything.
That's right. We weren't paying 12%.
That's the thing.
But will it just work out to be the same? Your cost of living won't go down. The only people who benefit perhaps might be the government. And again, that may benefit some people here. That may benefit, as the Prime Minister says, the vulnerable in society. They'll be able to provide more funding for them, but your bottom line won't be impacted in any way, shape, or form. Are you fine with that? Is that going to be satisfactory for most Bahamians? At least the other people in society who are struggling, the the government will be able to help them more, but my cost of living hasn't gone down. Would you be able to sleep well at night knowing that? Let's hear what you have to say. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning. Hi, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, morning, Dwight and Laverne. How are you guys?
Doing well.
Dwight, you know I always say, a promise is the comfort to a fool. Okay, now, on the campaign trail, the Prime Minister was singing a song that we're going to get a reduction in VAT. What I am hearing now after he is elected is a different song. Nothing was ever mentioned about VAT being placed on the bread basket items. So it is clear that this whole process needs to be thought out properly to ensure that the poor and the masses will benefit from this reduction in VAT. Because if you're now taking the 10% and placing it on the bread basket item, which is essential to the poor, which mainly is going to be food, you're now saying we're going to give you a 2% reduction, but we're now going to charge you 10% more. This whole thing needs to be thought out properly, because I can see in the long run, while you're trying to get those who have to pay more, by doing what I'm hearing now based on my calculations, like I say, I know how to maneuver figures and how to put things in place, the masses are going to be hurt more by what they're talking about, and putting this 10% now on the zero-rated items. For instance, medical insurance, life insurance, house insurance, a lot of things I think they need to remove the VAT off completely than to try now and add 10% that you weren't paying before. And like that caller or said earlier just before me, in a way possible that paying 10% on bread basket items is going to be beneficial to me, because that's the items that persons or individuals, especially the poor and the masses, are going to use the most. The other thing I want to say is on terms of the this $1 billion difference between the pre-election budget and what Mr. Davis or the Prime Minister is talking about now. My thing is, you need to bring the proof before you put these things to public, so you'll be able to say to us, this is exactly what's happening. Right now, we're all guessing. We're all waiting to see what is this $1 billion difference. Me, again, like I say, knowing numbers, what might have happened, and I'm looking at the opposition press conference, they said they put what was required.
Right.
My thing is, if you're saying to me, if you're bringing something to the election, you should include all the liabilities, not what just was promised. So we, the Bahamian people, would know, yes, there are some bills that might not have been required, but here is what should have happened.
You really would do that? If you're a good guy, you're a very good guy.
That's the point. See, because it make it look like you're hiding something, and in the long run, it's going to come out.
Yeah.
So you might as well be honest up front right away, so we know what to expect.
Well,
so it
wouldn't come out if you were cocky enough to believe that you would actually win the election.
Well, that's what they were thinking.
And there you go.
Yeah.
That's what they were thinking. They were thinking that they were going to win the election, and the Bahamian people would have never even heard about it.
Right.
Just like we never know about the downgrade. The downgrade came out one day after the election. They knew the downgrade was coming. They probably had either already gotten information that it was going to take place.
Well, they weren't going to be able to hide that one.
Got to be open and upfront with us. See, but the problem is, Dwight, they don't swear to the Bahamian people. They swear to the Queen. So their obligation really ain't to us. It's really to the Queen. And until they start pledging their allegiance to the Bahamian people, nothing will change in the Bahamas. You guys have a good day and stay safe.
Okay. All right.
You know, there are a couple of things, right, that the caller just mentioned that I want to talk about. So let me start with the one that's fresh in my mind. Any politician, anybody who's in government, they have an obligation to the people that they are serving. And that's just the fact, that's the reality. We, as a people, have an obligation to ourselves to ask the question. The Progressive Liberal Party fulfilled their promise. They committed to reducing VAT by 2%. If all of the paperwork and everything is done by January 1st, VAT will be included. The VAT will be reduced by 2%. That was the commitment. What we weren't asking enough of is, how is this going to work? Given our present economic conditions, our finances, how is this going to work? It sounded good, and sometimes we get carried away in what sounds good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it sounds good. Oh, thank God, VAT is gonna be reduced by 2%. When maybe we should have had less enthusiasm and more, okay, how is it gonna work?
Many weren't all that enthused. They knew that this was
whatever. So,
this was going to happen. Something like
because
this was going to happen.
there has to be, like a makeup.
Yeah.
So we have to, when we hear these things being put out there, we have to begin to ask those kind of questions. I need to know the details. I need to know how this is going to work. The other thing is, in part of the Prime Minister's communication, he talked about finding a more impactful way to assist those who may be less fortunate, struggling, than the zero VAT rating. I just like saying it like that, the zero VAT rating on bread basket items. But Dwight, let's think about it. The people who are, you're saying that you're gonna find a more meaningful, more impactful way to assist them. I don't know what that is gonna look like. But what I do know is that even in you finding a more impactful way to assist them, will that assistance be eroded by the fact that they now have to pay 10% on bread basket items? Because those are the items that they probably buy the most.
Yeah.
So whatever I'm getting or they may get, is it going to now be eroded because now they have to pay that 10% VAT on milk, on tuna, on corned beef, on oil, on flour? Kind of like, or on rice, staple things that most people have in their cupboard.
Yeah. This message as we go to the break saying something similar to what you're saying. Removing the zero-rated items, which are mostly breadbasket items, to increase revenue is a huge mistake both economically and politically, and will only place a larger tax burden on the poor, which will start to be a real problem in the long term. When will our politicians grow a pair and start taxing the wealthy? Real property taxes still capped at $60,000. Still no income tax for those above a certain income bracket. Why must the poor pay for everything?
You can't tax the wealthy, Dwight. Then who's gonna, donate to your campaign? Okay, I think we're going to a break. Okay.
Let's do that. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Nassau's gone funky. Nassau's gone soul. We've got a doggone beat now. We're gonna call our very own. Nassau Rock and Nassau Road. Nassau's got a whole lot of soul.
Got your first look at traffic for this morning at 7:45. Brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In real-time traffic, Mile Butler Highway, heavy traffic from just north of Fire Trail up to Tawny Glen's Darling Highway, as usual, in the northbound lanes. Glaston Road looking busy as well, just north of Fire Trail up to JFK Drive in the northbound lanes. Northbound lane there for you. Blue Hill Road also busy north of Soldier Road, the northbound lanes to the roundabout with Independence Drive backing up a bit for you, westbound to that roundabout as well, and southbound on Blue Hill approaching that roundabout. Keep that in mind if you're in that area. Carmichael Road eastbound to Blue Hill Road, traffic is building there, and in eastern New Providence, we're seeing traffic building at some of the major intersections. and Bernard Road traffic's building there as well near the schools in the area. That's what we're looking at so far. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined. And time for another check of your weather for this morning. We've got a weak frontal trough that will continue to dissipate across the central and southeast Bahamas, while a stronger secondary cold front, along with its associated prefrontal activity, will migrate into the extreme northwest Bahamas later today and through Friday morning. That's going to bring a lot of changes over the next couple of days. So for the northwest Bahamas, we're looking at variable cloudiness, breezy and hot conditions today with a few passing showers through early afternoon. Expect increasing cloudiness with scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms this afternoon through tonight. Some showers may be heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. A small craft caution is in effect for boaters. For the central southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy and hot with a few passing showers and the slight chance of an isolated thunderstorm. Variable cloudiness with a few scattered showers and the chance of late evening thunderstorms mainly across the central Bahamas through tonight. Temperatures getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. Now, in your extended outlook, that cold front's expected to enter the northwest Bahamas by tomorrow and slowly drag southeastwards through the remaining islands throughout the weekend. So, for Friday, look for partly cloudy and windy conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, some becoming heavy to severe at times, mainly across the northwest Bahamas. Variable cloudiness with a few scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms elsewhere. By Saturday, variable cloudiness and breezy conditions with a few scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms mainly near the frontal boundary. As we said, it's going to be a strong cold front. It's going to bring some very comfortable conditions. By Saturday and heading into Halloween on Sunday and the start of November, it'll be quite comfortable come Monday. In the tropics, we've got a deep non-tropical low-pressure system producing storm-force winds located about 350 miles south of Halifax, Nova Scotia in Canada. This was that nor'easter that's now heading back out into the Atlantic. It has a low chance, a 30% chance of tropical cyclone formation through the next 5 days. No threat to us, of course. But that is your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
You have a new text message from Scotia.
Scotiabank is adding text messaging to its communication channels to keep customers updated in quicker and safer ways. As of November 4th, Scotiabank will be using text messaging to provide notifications on the minimum payment required for your credit card and due dates. Customers may continue to access their credit card statements on Scotia Online or through our mobile banking app. Learn more by contacting customer care-bahamas at scotiabank.com or call 356-1697.
Your child needs nutrients every day, and Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder. This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Milk does not contain DHA, but contains calcium and other nutrients.
Do you need to insure your vehicle at the best price? With the most options and free installment payments, CG Atlantic agents offer affordable coverage for everyone. Just call 677-6422 to find out how you can protect your vehicle with extra options to keep you covered. Why wait? Call CG Atlantic agents today at 677-6422. Visit us online at cgatlanticagents.com or in person at Atlantic House, 2nd Terrace and Collins Avenue. Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
For 38 years, Strachan Commercial Pest Services has provided trained certified technicians while using environmentally safe industry-standard products. Pests can devastate your business. Together, we will ensure adequate sanitation standards and safe pest exclusion methods. Uncontrolled pest problems lead to significant financial loss due to food contamination, business disruption, and stock waste. Strachan provides detailed solutions protecting your business and reputation. Strachan, #1 in pest control services.
People helping people to help themselves.
All right, watch this. The credit union of the Bahamas, drop card ain't got nothing on them. There's the plug.
People helping people to help themselves.
Don't believe me? Join the credit union and watch your money grow like Chef and Needle.
Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Yeah, go join one.
Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make.
More what? Stop that.
Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Let me get my money there.
Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make.
Join
a credit union. Watch your savings grow with higher interest rates. Become a member and purchase some shares. Then ownership is coming your way. They offer local banking members the owner. Personalized service. Come and join the credit union, and your choice will be the smartest. Credit unions are the smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Wake up, it's a new day.
Breakfast just got better at Wendy's. Introducing the Breakfast Piggy Bag. Enjoy a double sausage muffin with 2 square sausage patties, a freshly cracked egg, and cheese served on a toasted English muffin, a medium waffle fries, and an orange juice for only $5.25, VAT inclusive. Add an apple pie for just $1 more.
Say what?
At Wendy's, better breakfast is all day. Offers valid in participating locations. Wendy's, different inside and out.
Take her out on a date. She said, give her a call round 7:45. When you dial her number, ring-a-ling-a-ling. She knows it's you, but she just let it ring. Or you get swing, you get swing, you got no ting.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Laverne Gardner. That's just a nice song. That's all. That's all that is. Right, Laverne? That's all that's not nothing to be read into there. Okay. We're talking what? You love Gino D is the best. Talking about what we heard yesterday from the Prime Minister about the supplementary budget and a $1 billion disparity and BPL and the VAT reduction and not quite reduction, all those things. You know, that's what we're talking about this morning, getting your reaction to it. Lots of text messages. We haven't touched them yet. We're going to get to those in a bit, but I know the calls are coming in. Laverne, let's take these calls, and you can continue to call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Good morning, yes, and good morning to your special guest, always insightful. And to your producer, who always has something nice to play relating to the topic discussion.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, Dwight, I want you to follow up on that American Airlines release because they've been falling right at the cockpit. Anyway, check that out. Quite a number of them. But isn't it that for every 1% of the VAT, that's equivalent to $100,000 that they collect? Yes or no?
I'm not too sure about the exact number, but it's performed very well for the government. Absolutely.
Well, I read that somewhere, but in any event, so that's $1.2 million with that 12%. I want to know exactly what that real figure is, and where, if that's the correct figure, how is the government planning on making up for that $200,000, seeing that they reduced it to 10%? Follow me?
Mm-hmm. Well, that on items that were zero rated.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That may be one way. And they've also said in the past that they would go after other low-hanging fruit, other people, real property tax, other people who owed money, and they'd be aggressive with that.
Because right now in America they're talking about taxing the rich, but that ain't going nowhere, and it ain't going nowhere if they try it here, eh?
You think so?
Well, let's wait and see.
Okay. All right.
Thank
will
you.
See. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. As Laverne made a great point, right? If you tax them, then in 5 years, what you're going to do? But maybe by then we'll have the campaign finance reform and limit everybody in what they can take. And so we'll have a level playing field finally there.
That's
see
a good
how
thought.
see how
That's
that'll
a
work.
real positive
Yeah,
thought.
there you go. We don't need your money, rich people. So pay your taxes. I don't know.
Right. Okay.
Oh boy. Good morning. Let's take this one. Good morning, caller. You are okay. Call us back. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. All right, let's get to these text messages. Someone says here, regarding the Prime Minister's claim yesterday in Parliament of a whopping $1 billion being unaccounted for by the previous administration. If this claim wasn't coming from our Prime Minister and providing nothing to support this outrageous claim, it would be funny. However, going forward, I do sure hope this doesn't become the usual way of making wild, unsubstantiated claims by our Prime Minister without providing the least bit of evidence to support. Well, he did talk about, of course, we don't know if that adds up to $1 billion, but he did give some examples of things that were not included that they've discovered. And
right.
So if there are quite a few of those, then that might add up to $1 billion.
That might add up. And he may not have detailed every single thing, but I believe that in the report he then went on to say, certain things that weren't accounted for in Ministry of Works, some sort of promissory note, tax thing that I wasn't quite clear on, made by one person to a government official. So he did mention something.
Right. Yeah, it would have taken quite a long time to get to $1 billion, maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
We will see. This one says here, when Minnis was powerful, he was merciless. There was weeping and gnashing of teeth. The hallmark of his administration was to be the author of confusion, massaging the numbers and cooking the books. Minnis should be banished to the oblivion. Okay. Dwight, it makes no sense for the Prime Minister to decrease VAT by 2%. Meanwhile, food prices could increase up to 10% because of the proposed VAT decrease. What now? But anyway, Bahamians, do the math. These politicians want us fooled and keep us going in circles. Well, food prices are going up in any event because of what's going on globally. And so
Right.
for the for
And
VAT,
so-
I see what you're saying, because it's $0
Yeah.
now, 10%. Sure, fine. Yes, but those items, not everything, but the bread basket, fine. 10% increase on top of already rising prices could be a terrible, terrible situation by January. As we've heard, one of the major supermarkets says that they will try to hold off price increases until January.
Until January. Yeah.
Just when you get your VAT back. And, oh, man.
Just when you get your VAT back, your 10% added to your bread basket items.
Which already are.
And there's also, there probably is going to be an increase.
Happy New
on
Year.
groceries.
Happy New Year, Bahamas.
Right.
It's going to be great.
But I don't know if you're experiencing it in New Providence, but I'm already seeing an increase here.
Yeah. Prices are creeping up, and it's going to get much worse. Brace yourselves, as you said earlier. Brace yourselves. Okay, let's take a break for news. When we come back, a lot more of these. I see the phone lines are lit. We'll get to all of those and to the messages. A lot more to come. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio. Stay with us. Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:21, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. On these final few days of October 2021, we've got a weak frontal trough that will continue to dissipate across the central and southeast Bahamas, while a stronger secondary cold front, along with its associated activity, its prefrontal activity, is expected to migrate into the extreme northwest Bahamas later today through Friday morning. So for tomorrow, or for today, for the northwest Bahamas, we're looking at variable cloudiness, breezy and hot conditions with a few passing showers through early afternoon. Then expect increasing cloudiness with scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms from this afternoon through tonight. Some showers may be heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Small craft caution is in effect for boaters. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy and hot with a few passing showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms, turning variably cloudy with a few scattered showers and the chance of late evening thunderstorms, mainly across the central Bahamas through tonight. Temperature-wise, we're looking at highs getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. Now, the changes are coming, as we said, with that cold front moving through. It's going to enter the extreme northwest Bahamas by tomorrow and then slowly drag southeastwards through the remaining islands throughout the weekend. So for tomorrow, Friday, we're expecting mostly cloudy and windy conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, with some becoming heavy to severe at times, mainly across the northwest Bahamas. Variable cloudiness with a few scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms elsewhere. Saturday, variably cloudy and breezy with a few scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms, mainly near the frontal boundary. And we're expecting the cooler temperatures behind the front, comfortable temperatures, heading into Halloween on Sunday and the start of November on Monday. In the tropics, we've got a deep non-tropical low-pressure system coming out of that nor'easter. It's heading back out into the Atlantic. Tropical could produce some storm force winds. It's about 350 miles south of Halifax, Nova Scotia. The system has a low chance, about 30% chance of tropical cyclone formation into a subtropical system through Friday, but no threat to us. But that is your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance, which first for you comes first for us. 8:24, time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. Quite a lot happening this morning to talk about. We've got Milo Butler Highway, as always, the hot spot. Traffic is backed up all the way from Fire Trail up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway in the northbound lanes there, and Fire Trail is backed up eastbound to that roundabout with Milo Butler Highway. Glass Road also looking busy for you northbound to JFK Drive. Carmichael Road eastbound to Blue Hill Road. Heavy traffic the closer you get to Blue Hill Road. Once you get past Fire Trail, you'll be noticing that building in front of you. And Blue Hill is busy, especially north of Soldier Road in the northbound lanes to Independence Drive and the roundabout there. And near Carmichael and St. Vincent Road, you're going to be seeing the heavy traffic in the northbound lanes there as well. Carmichael westbound out to Coral Harbor Road is looking busy. And then we've got Eastern Road, pockets there west of Fox Hill. Bernard Road, mainly westbound. And Prince Charles Drive, the major intersections, especially Prince Charles and Beatrice Avenue this morning. Those are your hot spots. That's your real-time traffic in the morning. Blend Traffic Alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
With a home equity loan from RBC, and let your greatest asset fund your home improvement and personal projects. Switch your mortgage to RBC today and experience the difference with no management fees, cash back on closing costs, and step-by-step guidance from our team of expert mobile mortgage finance specialists. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/equity loan. Reimagine new ways to bank better with RBC.
No delay. Best rate, no delay. BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy up to 150 megabits per second plus 157 TV channels and unlimited home phone minutes for only $99.99.
Best rate, no delay.
Visit a VTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network. Conditions apply.
While it's encouraging that the national COVID-19 vaccine rollout is going successfully, it's not the only precaution to reduce the spread of the virus in our communities. It's important to continue practicing safety protocols because it is our social responsibility to protect ourselves and to protect others.
Wash your hands for a friend with a weaker immune system.
Only read and share information from trusted sources to avoid unnecessary panic.
I'm gonna need y'all to avoid these large crowds. You could have loved ones at home who have underlying health conditions. Do it.
Practicing safety protocols is an act of brotherly and sisterly love.
The life you save may just be yours as well as your neighbor.
We will win.
We will win.
This message is brought to you by the PAHO WHO Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Country Office, the Ministry of Health, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
When you ain't got no money, no, you're in a bad state. I don't think that's funny, no. I told my girl I lost my job. She said, baby, you got to think it out, 'cause you're in a bad state.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner on this Thursday morning. We are talking about what's in the news, getting a reaction to what we heard yesterday in the House and outside of the House in regards to the supplementary budget communication. And so much coming out of that, but we're getting a reaction to it, a lot of text messages to get to, and you can continue to call us, 323-6232. 325-4316, 325-425. Now we're going to take this into Morning Blend business as well, getting a reaction to all of this. Okay, so let's get through a couple more messages and we'll get back to the calls. Someone says here, I noticed the Prime Minister said numerous of times in the budget summary statement yesterday that he was advised of so-and-so. I will keep my eyes on this I'm not sure what word you're trying to say. Okay. Anyway, they're saying in this communication style, since I'm recalling him saying the same hedging words, he was advised that Bamsey had insurance, a measure to avoid blame for saying whatever is said if it turns out to be untrue. Well, you got to protect yourself. Why not? Why not? This one says here, with all the revelations that's going on at BPL, where is the CEO or Director of Communications response in all of this? Well, what revelations? What's been revealed? Laverne? The rate reduction bond thing? I mean, that was, like I said, that was...
I don't think there's been any revelation.
They were hoping to have this done from earlier this year. It's been dragged on, and it's
been dragging on.
Getting worse for them and for us. And
the Prime Minister is just confirming what we were already saying, that, this bond would cause an increase.
Mm-hmm.
So he's basically just confirming.
Yeah. And well, maybe that's all I'm going to say on that one. But, what do you want them to say? Remember now, that's a public corporation. You're not going to get into an argument with the Prime Minister. Right? But, okay. This one says, can you all please stop guessing and just ask the great Anton? I'm sure he can explain everything in under 30 minutes. Okay. This one says here, well, this is a lot. Okay. If we're off by $1 billion, as claimed by the Prime Minister, why wasn't there a remedy in his communication to address this shortfall? Well, again, that's not quite what's happening here, right? It's not quite what's going on. But he's criticizing the method that was used by the previous administration in the report, the budget
And also, Dwight, that's not our thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's like not our thing. We don't come and say, this is what's happened and this is what we're doing. You know, it has a better effect if we just drop these quote unquote bombshells. Like if the Prime Minister had come yesterday and said that there's a $1 billion difference in the report and what we've discovered, but here's what we're doing. That wouldn't have the same kind of effect. People wouldn't really be talking about it. But if you just drop the bombshell,
yeah,
you know,
and I think
news.
that alone, because while some people are talking about the VAT issue and VAT on zero-rated items, right? The $1 billion thing is getting a lot of attention as well, and that
absolutely, and perhaps it was said like
right.
that so that we don't focus so much.
I do suspect.
Can you imagine if the Prime Minister did not say talk about this $1 billion difference, and he only said that the zero VAT rating on some items will have to go up? Can you imagine? No, then you will have this greater uproar. But if you say that, but also say, hey, look at what the last administration did or didn't do. Makes that
absolutely
10% bread basket item increase, a little bit.
Softens the blow a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. It softens the blow.
It was supposed to be this morning, but the drafters aren't quite ready yet.
Right.
Yep. Sure. Okay.
They aren't ready because they're distracted by trying to figure out this $1 billion. I'm sorry.
They go on to say, though, PLP Economics reduced VAT to 10% to encourage more consumer spending, but increase VAT on VAT-free items to collect the VAT back. If we're off by $1 billion, as claimed by the Prime Minister, why wasn't there a remedy in his community already? Said that. Okay. So you mean to tell me that those professional technocrats got it wrong at the Ministry of Finance? No. As the opposition also claimed, they followed the law, which they created. They followed the law in the reporting, which means we didn't have to include some of those things because it wasn't required.
And would we have really, you know what else, right? Would we have even gotten a report if the now Deputy Prime Minister hadn't called them out? Because we didn't have a report, you remember, up to election.
It came right after he called them out. You're right.
Right.
You are
and
right.
then the report was supposed to come out by midday, and then there was a delay, and I think it came out like the following Monday.
Yeah.
And,
You are correct. You wonder. This texter says, politics is a dirty game. All governments make promises that they cannot keep. I want this government to explain how they're dropping VAT to 10%, but the bread basket items will be charged VAT.
That's how they're dropping it.
Very
That's
simple.
the explanation right there.
Bam! There you go. That's how.
There you go.
Yeah, that's how we can do it.
We're giving you back 2%, and then we're also throwing 10% on you.
Who knows? They could drop all zero-rated items. They might go back to 7.5. Who knows? Okay.
Well, I wonder though if they came up with that proposal, how the public would feel. Hey, we can reduce the VAT to 8%. It's just going to be, or 7%, 7.5%. We can put it back there. It's just going to be on everything like it initially was.
Hey, Laverne, I actually wouldn't have a problem with it if they could reduce some of the duties even more.
Mm-hmm.
Reduce the duties.
Right.
Because that's crazy. And I mean on everything. On everything. But, don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. This one here says, although early, it just seems like it is business as usual and the same old politics being played. There seems to be no sense of urgency as it relates to economic strategies. When the former PM Ingram took over in 92, there was a clear and urgent strategy executed. It appears that despite our dire economic woes, we are heading down the same road, doing the same things, which is troubling to the extreme. Yeah, your first part was right. It is early. So maybe. Maybe not.
I don't know if we're quite at the strategy stage. Right now, I think we're still at the bombshell stage. You know, because you do, and successive governments do it. Hey, look what we found. Hey, here's what was never done. Here's what was done. So we're right now at that stage. I'm not saying that it's the stage that we should be at. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's typically how it works.
Yeah.
You probably have another month of this.
Oh. Okay.
Just my estimation.
If we're lucky. No. It'll be at least a year. At least a year. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Strachan. How you doing, sir?
Doing well. Good morning.
Well, that was a lot of long commercials and everything this morning.
Well, we got to pay some bills.
And now you make your money. But you know, somebody said something I was thinking about from yesterday when you allowed Antoine to totally take over the show. I mean, he gets all the breaks when it comes to time and expression.
Well, that's not quite true, but okay.
But what I'm saying is, I think you already should give Antoine a show on and on so he can really clear up all the wrongs in this country because he has all the answers.
Well,
you know, when you're talking about the cost of increase in rates and everything and prices and everything, the system was controlled and planned by the rich from the break. To keep themselves rich, it was organized from the break. You understand? If you charge the increase on the rich, all they gotta do is pass it right back down to the poor. If the government goes up and charge the rates of anything on the rich, it was said before. I heard it right out of Mr. Roberts' mouth when they were discussing the 7.5% VAT. One evening he was on Jones' show, and he told Mr. Jones, whenever you bring the VAT to me, my family is straight, I am straight. I am now working for my children and my children's grandchildren, and if there comes to the point where I cannot handle it, all I will do is either close down some stores and lay off some staff. Now, you don't want that to happen, because now there's more people out of work, less stores to go to, but he will maintain his same budget balance to keep his profits the way he wanted and getting more. And for example, when I used to work the Solomon Brothers in the 70s, the cost of a pack of Rothmans was 50 cents a pack when they introduced Rothmans. Today, Rothmans is $11 and something cents a pack, and guess what? There's the same 20 Rothmans in the pack. You're getting the same amount.
Well, it should be $50, but okay.
No, that's because you don't smoke. But what I'm saying, it is an item out there that we bring into the country. Alcohol, we bring into the country. Cigarettes, we bring into the country. Supply and demand. But what I'm saying
But there's some other. I think there's a sin tax
today.
on it too, though. I think there's a sin tax.
No, but what I'm saying, hello?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the same machines, the same amount of people to make a pack of Rothmans today is the same. But look at the cost.
Yeah.
The bottom line is it's greed at the top. The top wants more and more. They're fighting at the top to say, who is the richest person in the world?
All right. I don't know if that's a good example because I know the duties on cigarettes are very high to dissuade people. But yes, we know that the cost of living, the cost of everything, a loaf of bread in the 70s, I'm sure, would make people laugh if they heard the price, right? Compared to what we're paying it today for that. Okay. Anyway, caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Laverne. Good morning to the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Dwight, I hope you give me half the time as you give your previous caller,
Well,
because I have a bit of constructive criticism. This budget that the Prime Minister brought on yesterday, it's alarming that the Prime Minister could be in the position that he is in as a QC in the country, that bring that budget. I would think that it would raise some eyebrows to some people that a man of that stature can bring that form of budget, stating that these things are happening in the country or has happened under the previous administration. And people seem to be condemning them for it or having an issue with it. And, when he talks about the breaks and stuff or the increase and stuff for the small man, people seem to have issues with that. But when you talk about the major tax breaks that one vendor would have gotten in this country compared to what they're trying to do for the poor man, no one raises issues with these things that is, extremely concerning to me. So my thing is, we have to be careful, how we, it appears to me that the breaks that you give the previous government, you have no consideration for the present government at all, because, things that I've seen, because I wake up to your show every morning, things that I've seen you guys gloss over for the former administration. I mean, this present government seems to be on the right track, but you're not giving them a breath of fresh air to function as a government. And I think that is alarming. We have to be careful that we don't become the bad that we're trying to get rid of.
Who are you talking about? Who's the? Talking about?
I am talking basically about the way you and Laverne. This is your show, by all means. We listen to it. We are listeners and everything. But that microphone.
What have you heard us say?
Well, it appears to me that there's a bunch of positive things that you should be encouraging the government with. You seem to have an issue with.
Like what?
And then there are negative things. Say again?
What have you heard us say?
Well,
what have you heard?
I'm starting hearing a problem with the increases for the civil servants and and the pensioners.
We haven't talked about that.
And then
we haven't talked about that. What people are talking about is the increase on bread basket items. The VAT is going back on that. And that while the VAT was promised to go down for at least a year from 12% to 10%, to put VAT back on the bread basket items is going to hurt a lot of people. That's what texters and callers have been saying. And we've been saying that, well, we knew that they were going to have to find some way to pay for this VAT reduction. But what have you heard us say?
Well, I'm listening to both you.
Because you're making some serious accusations.
Yeah,
what did you hear us say?
And I'm going to say, as a citizen, I'm not 100% pleased. I'm not even 50% pleased with some of the things that I'm hearing, because for me, it seems like the other administration seems to get glossed over with major things that they have done.
I trust you. They didn't think that. But okay. But I always say, all of you hear what you want to hear. Very much so. And I don't understand what type of filters you all run your radio or your electronic devices through. But it definitely it allows you to hear exactly what you want to hear. But okay, that's fine. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight and Laverne. How y'all doing?
Hi, Anton. Good morning.
Laverne, you there? Anyway, good morning to the nation.
I'm here, Anton. I'm here for it all. Good morning.
Sparky woke you up, I guess.
Good morning. You better start, Dwight. Dwight, you're something else, so he tells us we're listening with. But nonetheless.
Are you hearing that, Anton? Or are you hearing horrible commentary from me and Laverne today? Did you hear that?
No, I'm hearing some concerns from the public that I'd like to speak to, and one or two concerns that you all asked about that I'd like to answer. For instance, Laverne asked, she was questioning what is the taxation matter that the former government did not record on the expenditure that the Prime Minister spoke to yesterday. Correct, Laverne? Dwight?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So to my mind, I'm thinking as it relates to taxation matters regarding specifically the star witness that the former administration brought when they manufactured evidence to try and prosecute former cabinet minister and chairman under the PRP government. I'm thinking that taxation is relating to costs that would have been awarded by the courts, because I don't know if you're familiar with it, Dwight or Laverne, but the judge normally sets out, if they award you cost, they state either cost or to be taxed if not agreed. And so I'm thinking that the Prime Minister is speaking to that aspect of what the cost actually would have been to the Bahamian people for those trials, because that information has yet to be revealed, right? And the Prime Minister sort of hinted to it yesterday in his communication. But Dwight, going back to what you all were talking about this morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that you're all on the wrong wicket when you all were thinking about trying to sum up the figures that the Prime Minister did provide in his communication. I believe that personally, I got something totally different from why he brought those examples that he brought. I believe that he was demonstrating a pattern, a behavioral pattern by the government. I believe that if you examine, for instance, that there was $100 million spent by the Ministry of Work.
No, we got that. We got that. Yeah, he wasn't going to bring up the whole billion, but he brought up some examples that were glaring, that were shocking.
No, that's what I'm saying to you now, Dwight. I'm thinking that you all are on the wrong wicket when you all used what he stated as a means of him dropping hints of where the money was spent. I don't think that's what he was doing with the examples that he provided. I believe that he was drawing to your attention, or to the public's attention, a pattern of behavior by the former administration. For instance, how is it that you can have a Fiscal Responsibility Act, right, which sets out how the government is supposed to behave, which sets out and demands legally that the government has to come to Parliament and report its spending, which sets out that the government can only spend so much money over and above the budget, I think 5%, right? However, you have a situation in the Ministry of Works where $100 million was spent, and there was no provisions in the budget to accommodate for the spending. Who authorized such levels of spending to be spent at the Ministry of Works when the Parliament wasn't even aware of the spending that went on, when the government didn't even come to the Parliament to get approval for this kind of spending? And so, Dwight, if you use that as an example of behavioral patterns being demonstrated by the government, that's a very serious indictment, Dwight. Dwight and Laverne and the nation.
Yeah. Any idea, Anton, of what's going to happen with insurance and some of those other things that were zero rated?
Medication.
Well, I have no idea, but what I would like to think, and drawing in from what you would have brought in from the opposition persons yesterday in the interview, former Minister of State for Finance, Kwesi Thompson, right, where he was talking about the increase in cost for bread basket items, right? What I found and still find disingenuous about this conversation is that the items that are in the bread basket are items that are like $2, $3, $5, $6, and so if you have an increase on those items by 10%, we're talking a 50 cent increase.
That adds up. That adds up. That's still going to be significant to people, especially as we say, the vulnerable in the society. All that's going to add up.
It will add up because those are the items that typically you buy more frequently than the other items, and so it will definitely add up in that way over time. Yeah. And if you are a person who, if you are on a very tight budget, even if it's 50 cents, you feel it.
Yeah. And as we've been saying, the prices are going up. We know this as a result
so
of the global shortages.
We have to also look at it in light of that as well.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more than 10% increases there. Got to take a break. We'll get back to your calls and your text messages. And we've got a COVID vaccination raffle drawing. A lot more to come. Stay with us. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
No money, honey. No cash. Hey.
Hurricane season is here. If you're not prepared, it can really turn your life upside down. Fortunately, there's CG Atlantic General. Our people are here, ready to assist at a moment's notice, with protection like alternative accommodation for those who are displaced due to a storm. It's our priority to make sure you have what you need when you need it most. So when your life gets turned upside down, we can help to turn it around. CG Atlantic General. Good like that. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Contact a CG Atlantic General broker today.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
We are working to protect our country, our people, and our livelihoods so that we can move forward. The vaccine is safe. The vaccine is easy. The vaccine is essential for our recovery. If we want to rebuild our economy, if we want to get back to our jobs, if we want to get back to our lives, our families, we must do this together.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Call us at 502-7010 or visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
To win a relay, each team member must do his or her part in the race. If one member drops the baton, it impacts all of us. Across all ages, genders, abilities, nationalities, cultures, or religions, we are all on the same team, and we all have a role to play in getting to the finish line to win the race against COVID-19. Don't drop the baton on safety. Wear your mask over your mouth and nose. Keep at least 3 feet distance from others. Do not touch your face. And wash or sanitize your hands often. Together, we will win. This message is brought to you by the PAHO WHO Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Country Office, the Ministry of Health, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Laverne Gardner on this Thursday morning, and we're gonna get back to your calls in a bit. Just thinking, you all are amazing. I had Anton, when Anton was saying, was he saying before the break that the breadbasket items don't cost all that much? It's not going to be a big deal if it's a 10% VAT on them. Yeah. Okay. Let me tell you something. You know this, Laverne. You know this. Had the F&M, had the Minister Administration said, oh boy, things are rough. We're going to have to put VAT back on the breadbasket items. Whether it was 5%, 10%, or 12%, they would have burned down this town.
Of course.
They would have burned down this town.
Of course.
How could they do this to the poor people? Oh,
right.
That's what the... Anyway.
But then again, I mean, and, that we know who his party is, and so he's not going to go against them publicly or maybe even privately and say, the way that this is working out, he's not going to speak out against it. He has to rationalize it.
Wow. Okay. This text here. Tell Anton that powdered laundry detergent is zero rated and can easily cost up to $30 for a large box, which would only last for a few weeks for a family of 5 or whatever, especially if they have small children. His assertion that breadbasket items are low cost is severely flawed. Many others saying the same thing. Yeah, I don't know about that one, Anton.
Bear in mind that his assertion is really a justification.
This text here, the shipping prices are going up, so of course food will go up tremendously. This one says, this text here, where are the austerity measures to deal with the debt? Well, I'm sure we're going to hear more about that soon. This person says here, while the media misled the country with this tit-for-tat politics, what now? The media, okay. The old cars by Strachan Auto are so high you can't even see the building. Leaders and laws that can't even solve problems. I don't know how you bring the media in this, but the country is obsessed with the politics and the tit-for-tat-ness of it all, and the people are the issue. But yeah, those are big problems, which you mentioned. It has gone on far too long. I don't understand it. And, right? I don't understand it, but you pointing the fingers at the media for that. That's kind of weird. My issue is, how can there be a $1 billion difference in expenditure, but according to the Minister of Finance, his supplemental budget will not show any changes in the debt and deficit numbers reported by the former administration? Political mischief and rhetoric. When they add the VAT back on, that's more revenue for the government. And then comes contracts for family, friends, and lovers. Same old new day. Yikes. VAT. They meant to say VAT. They said cat, though. VAT should not be on medicine, insurance, and light bills. Senior citizens should have a reduced VAT with their NIB card of it should be 7.5%. Oh, boy. Stop double taxing and remove customs duties and just charge VAT when people come from away. Okay. He didn't. I don't know. Something's missing in there. Okay. What happens after 1 year of 10% VAT? Will it go back to 12%? And will the 10% of the breadbasket items revert to zero? That's an interesting question. VAT will be reduced by 2%, but raised by 10% on items that had no VAT on them. No win for the poor, no way out. Weren't we as a country surviving prior to the introduction of VAT? We were barely chugging along, and the steam was running out. We needed something. We needed massive tax reform. We still need it. But it gave us a boost. This one says here, it's my guess that after the 1 year, the increase will be up to at least 15%, up to 15% after the 1 year. Wow. When the price of an item goes up, quite naturally, you pay more VAT. And so with prices on everything going up, that 10% is really still going to be 12%. Wow. All right. Callers, I need you to hold on. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to do the drawing for the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. I just want you to know that the COVID Vaccine Committee has extended its services for walk-ups at the Mall Marathon for today. Just walk up and bring your ID and get vaccinated. It's as simple as that. You can get either a Pfizer or Johnson & Johnson shot. Vaccinators will be on site from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's walking up at the Mall at Marathon. So just go to the big blue circle in the mall at Marathon and get vaccinated today. All right, so walk-ups going on there. That's from the vaccination committee. All right, let's take that break, and we'll be back with the drawing. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Reimagine Auto Wow with RBC Financing. Drive home happiness with RBC Financing affordable packages. Experience the RBC difference with up to 100% financing, extended repayment terms, and step-by-step guidance from a team of mobile experts. Find out more at rbc.com/Caribbean/autoloan. Reimagine Auto Wow with RBC.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
And it is time for another drawing of the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. We've got two great prizes and two lucky winners today. Laverne, I know you've registered, haven't you?
Is it me? Did you just call my name? Did I win?
No, I'm just saying, are you ready? Are you ready to hear who's going to win?
What?
Yeah.
I got so excited. I was like, what?
We'll see. Okay, so here are the prizes. We've got a case of Gordon's Gin. Wow. Okay. Well, that's special. Right in time for Halloween.
Right after yesterday's VAT announcement, people may need that.
Well, maybe. Halloween's coming up. People have got some parties planned. Okay, that should be a lot of fun. And then the other prize is 2 seats on Aqua Shore's Eleuthera excursion. That sounds like a lot of fun as well. All right, so 2 great prizes. Again, you can be a part of all of this. All you have to do is register with vaxbahamas.com if you are vaccinated or even partially vaccinated. That's all you got to do. After that, just register, and your name will be entered to win these daily prizes. All right, so let's give away that case of Gordon's Gin. Yeah? The winner of the case of Gordon's Gin, Malcolm Roll.
Congratulations, Malcolm.
Hey. Party at your house. And everyone's vaccinated, I'm sure. So there you go. It's going to be great and safe. All right, so that's good stuff. Malcolm Rowe, congratulations. The USMC will be in contact with you shortly. And then now the Aqua Shores Eleuthera excursion. Oh boy, this is one of those tough names. Okay.
Laverne?
It begins with an L. Let me see. I'm trying to work out the pronunciation. Oh boy, my goodness. Is it Latyre Butler? Latyre. What is that? Latyre? Latyre? What? Latyre Butler. You've won 2 seats on Aqua Shore's Eleuthera excursion. If you know Latyre Butler, let Latyre Butler know they've won the 2 seats on Aqua Shore's Eleuthera excursion. Congratulations to you, Butler, and to Malcolm Rowe with the Gordon's Gin.
Congratulations, Latyre Butler.
There you go. Beautiful name. And again, thank you to our partners at the U.S. Embassy for this wonderful promotion, the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. All right, we're going to take a quick break and be back. We're going to continue our discussion about the supplementary budget into Morning Blend Business, getting your reaction to it, folks. So you can continue to call us and tweet us and Facebook us and text us when we continue Morning Blend Business in just a bit. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, October 28th, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan, along with Laverne Gardner, and we continue our discussion, getting your reaction to the communication in the House yesterday, the supplementary budget presentation, and what came out of that, and the response from the opposition. And want to hear from you on what you heard, what you liked, what you didn't like. We've been talking a lot about VAT as well, the VAT decrease that is set for by the end of the year or by January 1st at the latest, but a likely reintroduction of VAT on breadbasket items and more 10% across the board. It seems like heading in that direction. There might be a few exemptions, but the government has made it clear that they do think that zero-rated items in the long term not helpful from a revenue perspective. So we're getting your reaction to all of this. You can call us 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. We know we had a lot of calls backed up from the previous hour. We can take those and get to your text messages. Quite a lot of those to get to as well. So let's hear what you have to say as we continue that discussion. Good morning, caller. You are on Morning Blend Business. Hi, good morning. We can barely hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, that's a little bit better. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to give a little contribution. I was listening. You said give the likes and dislikes. Well, I heard all the dislikes most of the morning, but something also occurred in the House that I'm sort of optimistic about. The Revenue Collections Agency. You heard what was done about that yesterday. The previous administration sort of canceled it, and we were recouping revenue to the tune of, say, $20 million per month. And when minutes came in, that went poof. Well, that was reinstated, and we're set to collect about $200 million annually. So I think that would do well to, make up for lost revenue. Mm-hmm. Because you guys were talking about how we were going to replace some of this revenue is going to be lost because VAT will be reduced. I'm saying $20 million in the pot. So, man, that's a good start to me.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning to your guest.
Hi. Good morning.
How are you?
Doing well.
Listen, I've been listening to the talk show this morning, and there's so many salty FNMs I'm calling in, trying to think that Mr. Davis is going to do so wrong for this country. During the campaign, Mr. Davis made promises to the Bahamian people that he will put the VAT down to 10%. But now, a lot of people want him to fail. He's not going to fail. Listen, the bread basket, that was a good choice of him. And the good choice of him, giving those people that didn't have no work for 2 years, give them back $500, that was a good thing also. Now, the money that was found in central bank, the Bahamian people would like to know why all of that money was put aside in central bank and nobody had time to use it. You know, I don't think that was right on behalf of the Bahamian people because that money should have been used for the Bahamian people. But I believe Minister really cried because he left that money behind. But
Well,
like I just say, the PLP and Mr. Davis' team is going to do magnificent for this country. He made promises. One thing with Mr. Davis, he don't make promises to people, and he is not going to fulfill it. I think he's going to do well for the country. Okay, and you'll have a good day.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right. We've got another call. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Glen Business.
Early days to this talk in the way along with you, Dwight.
Hi. Good morning.
Dwight, Mr. Davis said that he was going to cut to 10% to, in other words, paraphrasing, to look at to see how it would go. The thing is, he's going to implement tax again. And what he should do is implement tax to the people with working income tax, because right now they themselves are not paying any tax. Okay, income tax and what you would call corporate tax. And he would be helping the poor people like that. Other than that, he wouldn't be doing anything for the poor people. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah. All right. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Glen Business.
Hello. How you doing?
Doing well.
Yeah. Dwight.
Hi. Yeah,
Hello.
we can hear you. Can you hear us?
You can hear me? You
Yes.
can hear me?
Yes, we can. Mm-hmm.
Okay. One of the things what each government come in, all they thinking about is taxing people, taxing the Bahamian, taxing the Bahamian. One of the things what you or anybody else who call in the talk show, what we don't speak about is we have natural resources in this country, but the government could go out there and search and see who would like to buy some. Okay? Who would like to buy some because it costs plenty money. And this country could run off of that instead of taxing the Bahamian people. Tell me what you think about that.
All right, you're breaking up a little bit on my end. Say that again.
I didn't hear you.
You're breaking up for me a little bit. Say that part again about what do we think about what? Sorry.
I said we have a lot of natural resources in this country. The government could send their scout or whoever, send them out there, find out from the foreign countries who would like to buy some of our natural resources. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Put a price to it because the natural resources could run this country instead of this budget, and all the Bahamian people thinking about is just sitting back, relaxing, and letting the government decide what to do with this country.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
I hear you. You can't run away from taxation. I don't think.
Say it again?
You won't be able to run away from taxation, and I don't think you can rely entirely on.
We're talking about food. We're talking about food, which is essential.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't supposed to be something to be on the books about taxing people for. Period. That's supposed to be something which we're supposed to have an abundance, and plus, we're supposed to be having genetic stuff what is good for the system, instead of having people on all of these pills and stuff. All right? We need to sell our natural resources so we can run this country. But everybody running away from that. What's going on, man? What's going on?
Yeah, well,
all of us are Bahamians.
It'll have to be a supplement, I'm sure. I don't think you can put everything into that basket, but
You
we
believe
do.
I could hardly hear you, man?
I'm saying, yeah. Okay, all right. I'm saying that. Thanks a lot for the call. I'm saying that it could be a supplement. I don't think you can put everything into that basket and expect to run the country and fill all the needs based on that alone. But we do need balance. We do need balance. That is desperately needed. Yeah. Laverne, you still with us?
I'm right here. I'm just listening to the callers.
Yeah, we've got more coming in. Let's take these.
Yeah.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight and Laverne. How are you all today?
Doing well. Good morning.
That last caller, I think he's thinking only calcium carbonate and oregano are only natural resources, because when he's speaking about inviting people in to buy our natural resources. Do you realize you're talking about our forests, our waters, our blue holes, and all those other things? It's more than just calcium carbonate and aragonite. You see, a lot of people talking about these natural resources, but they don't understand our country has international treaties that we signed with foreign countries, okay? And most of those companies that mine the aragonite and calcium carbonate right now got foreign partnership, okay? But I called you to speak about this morning is you're talking about the VAT on bread basket items, right?
Yes, among other things.
Let me ask you a question. Is the 10% VAT being implemented as yet?
No.
Okay. Don't you think if there is enough pushback from the Bahamian public about this 10% added on to the bread basket items, don't you think the technocrats that are in the ministry would look at this 10% that what I'm being told is going to be added on to the bread basket items? Don't you think they will take a second look at that?
The technocrats? I don't think it's up.
Who will be the ones that do all the work pertaining to the 10%?
They could take a second look, but if it's a policy of the administration.
It's not set in stone.
No, not yet. So if you might be onto something if people push back enough between now and January.
The reporter asked him when do you think would this decrease in VAT take place? He said the latest is by January.
Mhm.
So I think as the Bahamian public, we should give him an opportunity to explain it to the Bahamian people a little bit better when he goes back to Parliament, instead of us just jumping to an assumption to what our minds
No,
are.
they already said. They said that they don't believe that the zero-rated items that's helpful.
Yeah, he said that, but I'm saying to you this. He also said, I don't know if you guys remember, he said this too. He said the rich will pay their fair share of taxes also. Do you remember him saying that also?
They all say that. Mhm.
No, I'm saying to you, he said that that's part of his promises.
Sure. Mhm.
Okay? So, like I say, let's wait and see what the outcome will be. I mean, before the time that it's supposed to be implemented, and then we can have a difference of opinion on it. I mean, a major difference of opinion on it then.
No, I mean, I don't. Is that what you're saying? To wait and see, or to?
No. I'm saying to you, he said it should be implemented by January.
Uh-huh.
We are now only in October. Okay, we
that's
still
very
have
close.
2 months to see if there be any changes in what he had said about implementing the 10% on the bread basket items.
Mhm.
There might be a change of heart with some of the items.
Why
That's what
would
I'm
there
saying to
be?
you. We not know exactly which bread basket items we're actually speaking about.
Well, it can't just be some. It's got-
Why can't it be some?
No. That's going to cause massive confusion.
Didn't the former government, when they came to power, didn't they took VAT off airplane parts, industrial washing machines, and helicopter parts first, and
no.
caviar before they took?
I think that was duty.
Before
Duty.
They took VAT off it. Pardon me.
Duty.
Pardon me.
Duty. Not
They took
not the
duty
VAT.
off it, but
Yeah.
they didn't take the VAT off a bread basket item when they first came to power, right?
They did it while they were in power. Uh-huh.
Yeah, they did it while they're in power, but I'm saying to you, why take the duty off of those things that mega companies and corporations are paying for, or which was more
I mean, it doesn't make sense to even talk about that right now. That doesn't come
No,
before.
but I'm saying to you, what we're speaking about right now hasn't even been implemented.
Yeah.
But we are saying it like it's set in stone. That's what I'm saying to you, sir.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm saying I don't think what you're saying is what you mean to say. I don't think you mean to say sit back and wait. I think you're trying to say speak. Well, let me finish. Hold on. You're trying to say we need to speak out so that they have a change of heart. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying to you, if, like I said, if there are still 2 months before, 2+ months before the prior implementation, right? I said at least let's give them a couple of more weeks and see if there be any changes. Then if there's no changes in what he said, if we could, then we'll have to agitate if he wants something different. That's what I'm saying to you, sir.
Or agitate now so that they don't waste time.
Why
and-
agitate before you even
so
know
that they know how
the
unpopular it would be if they were to do that.
Well, don't you think this is why we send our members to Parliament to agitate for us?
That is hilarious. Oh, my gosh. Oh, woo. Look, we have to take a break on that one. That's hilarious. What? What did he just say? Oh, that's the funniest thing I've heard.
We're talking about what was being said, what was said to us yesterday from the lips of the Prime Minister At this point, I don't believe, I stand to be corrected, but at this point, I don't believe that they are waiting, saying, let's see what the response is going to be like, and then maybe we can make some adjustments. Based on what he has said, it seems as if they've crunched the numbers and figures and consulted with whomever they need to consult with. And this is the route that they are taking, because in his communication, he also talked about that top advisors and consultants have already said that removing VAT off of certain items, creating different item classes was reckless. And based on that comment, it would appear that they weren't necessarily fond of the differences in VAT, whether some was VAT free and some had VAT.
Right.
So, I could be wrong. I don't foresee there being any changes, because based again on what the Prime Minister said, had the people who were supposed to prepare the draft not fallen behind schedule, he would have entered Parliament with the draft. Correct?
Yes, that's right. Right.
I don't think that this announcement was an announcement to determine if this is not, maybe we should pull back. This was to let you know, hey, we promised that we would reduce VAT by 2%, and we are doing that. Also, as a result of doing that, we are going to reduce it so that it's 10%, but we're going to put VAT on everything. Well, not everything. We're going to put VAT back on bread basket items.
Almost everything.
Almost.
Right. So let me just read it. So for those who might have missed it when we did that earlier, let me just read what he said and what's been said, right? So this is what the Prime Minister said. With the reduction in the VAT rate, we are eliminating the zero rating under VAT on a variety of items. Price controls are in place to ensure that bread basket items will be fairly priced. Okay, so that doesn't sound like there's going to be much budging there, right? The VAT exemption for electricity bills and the special economic zones are untouched. But when VAT was first introduced in the Bahamas in January 2015, it was designed as a broad-based tax similar to the New Zealand model, deliberately simple in design and ease of administration with relatively few exemptions. The implementation of VAT in the Bahamas was efficient, and we were praised internationally for a very successful launch. In recent years, however, the country's tax policy has moved far away from the original plan and intent. Indeed, through the actions of the previous administration, the VAT base has been eroded by the implementation of many classes and types of items being zero-rated. These changes were considered by experts to be ill-advised and poorly executed, who believe zero-rating schemes are an inefficient and ineffective way to provide relief to the vulnerable in society. Instead, there is a preference for targeted relief, such as conditional cash transfer programs. Right? And we've heard that before, that the government did net significantly more by increasing the VAT to 12% because of perhaps some of those exemptions and those zero-rated items that became more commonplace. And so they're saying you can be as efficient at the 10%, a wider net for the 10%, wider spread for the 10% than 12% on selected items. So I don't know. I don't know if there's much room to change that position at this point, but who knows?
And the other thing, too, to consider is, if we weren't talking about it this morning, let's just say we weren't talking about it. I'm only going based on what the last caller just said. If we weren't talking about it this morning, if we decided to wait until January, and January comes around and it is still what the Prime Minister proposes that it will be, and then we discuss it then we're going to get the caller that comes in and say, oh, you wait until now You should have been talking about this.
Nobody was talking about it.
Nobody was talking about this
nobody.
when the Prime Minister first bring it up. Now that it's already law and it's already legislation, now y'all want to be talking about it. Reporters, you need to do your job.
Yep. Let's take some more calls before we have to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. Again, just to continue on with what I was trying to say, you one of the points you touched on a little just now, and that yes, there will be the introduction of the VAT on the bread basket items, which on I think more than 10 to 15 items in the food store in any event, right? But the rest of the items will experience that VAT reduction. The more expensive items will experience that VAT reduction, and for those who are at least able to afford that 10% increase on those few bread basket items, which on the costly items in the food store, there will be that cash program through social services that the Prime Minister pronounced will be reintroduced through their debit card assistance program. And so that will capture and provide assistance and financial support for those persons who are least able to, right? And they can apply and qualify for that program. But what I wanted to get to primarily is with reference to the $1 billion shortfall in budgeting that was revealed by the Prime Minister yesterday. As a matter of fact, the Prime Minister used as his basis that it was the Ministry of Finance officials, and that's something that everyone is just glossing over. That particular statement, I think, is the most important statement of it all. In that revelation, this information didn't pop out of nowhere. This information that was revealed by the Prime Minister was provided to him by upon his request by the Ministry of Finance officials. And those are the same officials who, upon request, and request being the operative word, who upon request from the former administration would have provided whatever information was requested of them to provide. The current Prime Minister asked for the full picture, and the Ministry of Finance officials provided him with the full picture. And so there's no flip-flopping here. This is a reality-based situation. And in addition to the Ministry of Finance officials providing him with the information, which he was able to report on in Parliament, as a result of that, he now has a reputable private firm, accounting firm, conducting an investigation into that shortfall in budgeting of $1 billion, which the findings he will provide to the Bahamian people so that we can really appreciate the nonsense that the former administration was doing. Okay? And
Okay.
I think that's the appropriate step to take, and that's the best approach to take as it relates to this entire matter. And if I could, Dwight, if I could gain your indulgence for one more point, can I?
Very quickly.
Okay, thank you. As it relates to what the Prime Minister revealed with the rapid fire loan facility from the IMF, which the former administration procured, and they entered into that loan, which stated or settled the conditions upon which they would have qualified to get that loan, and they never fulfilled those conditions. One of the conditions was they had to highlight and name the beneficial company owners who would have received the contracts related to that $250 million that the government got from the IMF. If you recall, Dwight, it was in May 2020 when that loan was secured by the government then, and it was in August, the 13th of August to be precise, 2021, just 1 month and 3 days before the last election, that the Attorney General then, Carl Bethel, revealed to the Bahamian people, only after being pressed by the press and the opposition, he revealed to the Bahamian people that the government would have to then underwrite new laws or new legislation in order for them to reveal who are the beneficial company owners that got the contracts relating to that $250 million. And I say all of that to say this one thing, Dwight. It means then that the government secured that $250 million contract under false pretenses. They lied to the IMF. And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, because they knew that our laws could not accommodate the conditions that the IMF settled, and they still went ahead and signed on the dotted line and never delivered on the conditions of that loan. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so I have some takeaways from Don's contribution. If I'm understanding correctly, even though, and you can let me know if maybe I didn't hear correctly, even though there may be an increase on, or VAT will be added to bread basket items. Some of the more expensive, or I think he used the word luxury items, then there's going to be a reduction on. Those items are correct?
That's what you heard?
That's what he said. I thought that's what he said. He said that also look at the fact that there's going to be a reduction. VAT is going to be reduced from the more expensive items because that's going to go to 10%. And then, even though bread basket items will increase.
Well, yeah, so that's what he's, I mean, I don't know if that's, I didn't know if I got that from him.
So with that logic, I'm thinking to myself, the more vulnerable in our society already don't buy the more expensive items. You know what I mean? If we go with this logic.
So what?
They cannot afford it.
Right. What they've said, and Michael Halkida said that last time he was on this show, is that, and Chester Cooper has said that as well, that people may buy more, which means they'd collect more VAT and they'd have more money to boost the social safety net as well. And so there's a lot of ifs,
right?
Ifs, and that I think that's where the previous administration fell down too, because they were thinking that they'd get more money from the 12%, increasing the VAT by so many percentage points, but that they'd have more money, but they weren't taking into account whether people would change their spending habits.
Right. So that's what I'm considering. Are people going to change their spending habits?
Mm-hmm. And between that,
now say, you know what, I'm going to purchase this rack of lamb because I'm only going to pay 10% VAT on it as opposed to 12%.
Right.
Now am I going to purchase the rack of lamb? So I thought of that. Then he also mentioned that people who, again, those who are in need of assistance, they can apply for assistance, and this increased assistance is going to help to offset the increased cost of bread basket items.
Right. Yeah.
So my increased assistance, I now have to still turn around and spend it in the store.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be tricky.
Then the final thing I got from his contribution is that we should really not focus on this aspect of the Prime Minister's contribution. What we really should be focusing on is the $1 billion, which goes back to what we were talking about earlier.
Distraction.
How you kind of put two things together and you use one as a distraction.
Yeah. Okay. We got to take a break. When we come back, a lot more. We'll take more of your calls, more of your text messages. This is Morning Glen Business on Garney Radio 96.9.
Oh, damn, oh, damn, oh, damn, oh, damn. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Oh, damn, oh, man, oh, damn, oh, man. I got bills I gotta pay, so I'm gonna work every day.
Girl, Junior just showed me Bella Boy in his phone.
What you mean? He take picture of that good-for-nothing boy?
Shh, you don't want Bella here. You say that. You know she always say that's my good child.
So what he doing in Junior phone?
Oh, he there because the police looking for him. He on their wanted list.
Wanted persons in your phone now?
Yes, child. And when police want to find anybody quick, after something happen, they can send pictures direct to your phone. Go to Google Play or App Store and search for Crack Crime Bahamas. Then pick install and it will go straight to your phone.
There is also a section on missing persons.
Yes, girl. Everybody needs to get this app so police can tell us right away when these people go missing. Just like an alert system.
Yes, it has numbers for Crime Stoppers Bahamas, so you can call and nobody knows it's you. Call directly to Miami and give the information without giving your name or anything about you. I tried the other day, and when I hear Junior and his boys talking about where they hide those guns, I walk quick round the corner and call that number.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Call us at 502-7010 or visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
That's the sound of a bite-sized payment I made on my new laptop.
Can I make a bite-sized payment on this amazing vacation?
Yes, with Scotia Select Pay. Now, my big-ticket credit card purchases are more manageable with flexible, bite-sized payments over 3, 6, 9, or 12 months at a lower interest rate. Scotia Select Pay allows me to better plan my expenses over time. The best part? No credit checks or financing application. Visit bs.scotiabank.com. Conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Got bills I gotta pay, so I'm gonna work every day. I got mouths I gotta feed.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The government revealing in its supplementary budget yesterday that it expects to pick up just under $100 million in additional tax revenue, the lion's share of which will come from value-added tax, despite the government's plan to reduce that rate from 12 to 10%. The supplementary budget also includes additional recurrent expenditure in the neighborhood of $53 million. Prime Minister Davis, making a statement on his government's budget in the House of Assembly yesterday, explained that the deviation from the former administration's budget has reprioritized unnecessary budgeted expenditures and moved them to areas where they are needed more, and restores the fiscal health of the country over the medium term and designed to meet the needs of the most vulnerable in the society. The government expects that lowering of VAT will lead to an uptick in spending. That, along with improvements in customs duty collection and better than expected tourism receipts, has led the government to project an $80.6 million improvement in VAT receipts. The government will implement a private sector debt advisory committee chaired by former Minister of State for Finance James Smith. That committee will advise the Ministry of Finance on how to formulate a debt strategy for the country. Prime Minister Davis making that announcement yesterday in the House, adding that despite the supplementary changes to the budget that include increases in recurrent expenditure, the debt forecasted by the previous government will not change. Minister of Agriculture, Marine Resources, and Family Island Affairs Clay Sweeting revealing that the Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute, BAMSI, in Andros, is in a heart-wrenching state, with part of the property having no public supply of electricity and with structures appearing neglected. Sweeting saying in a press statement that BAMSI is reminiscent of Chinese ghost towns. He said power to the facility, including its dorms and aquaculture compound, are being supplied by generators. Sweeting says he intends to revive the Andros facility by first providing electricity for the campus. He, along with his ministry's permanent secretary, Joel Lewis, and Member of Parliament for the area, Leonardo Lightburn, and other ministry officials toured the site recently. He says that when the campus has been brought up to a better standard, universities can be invited to see what the school is doing. And you heard it here on Morning Glen Business yesterday. Pinnacle Franchise Brands making history as it surpassed its minimum crowdfunding mark through 950 investors, raising $1.7 million to ensure that Bahamians and others have a stake in the success of Red Lobster in the Bahamas and across the Caribbean. Arawak X's Chief Technology Officer, D.R.C. Ramming Jr., making the announcement that Pinnacle was successful in raising the capital, revealing in a press statement shortly afterwards that the milestone could indicate the first successful crowdfunding initiative in the Caribbean through the exchange. Ramming says that the success of Pinnacle reveals that the market has an appetite for this business and is willing to back it with their own money. Read more on this story in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas, the European Central Bank deciding today to keep its pandemic stimulus efforts unchanged, even as consumer prices spike and central banks in other parts of the world look to dial back support as their economies bounce back from the worst of the COVID-19 outbreak. The decision affecting the 19 European Union countries that use the euro currency sets up a debate in December about when and how to end the 1.85 trillion euro or $2.14 trillion stimulus program. The bond purchase program drove down longer-term borrowing costs for businesses as they weathered shutdowns and for governments as they spent more on pandemic support. It is slated to run to at least March 2022 or until the bank deems the crisis phase of the pandemic over. but a recent burst of inflation has sharpened questions about whether the exit should come sooner rather than later. Closer to home in your market watch, recapping trading on the BISX. From Wednesday, your market movers AML Foods Limited moving 405 shares, down 29 cents to 615. Benchmark moving 1,000, unchanged at 170. CIBC First Caribbean Bank moving 300, unchanged at 1126. Commonwealth Bank moving 4,276, down 7 cents, closing at 252. Consolidated Water down 6 cents, closing at 216. Emira Incorporated down 5 cents, closing at 1161. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,076.33, down 9.16. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Got bills I gotta pay, so I'm gonna work every day. I got mouths I gotta feed.
We're back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. We are getting a reaction to what we heard yesterday with the supplementary budget communication and talking about VAT and the reduction that is planned. Just so we all are on the same page, just want to go through that VAT-free bread basket list, right? This is what's VAT-free up to this point. So baby cereal, baby food, baby formula, bread, broths and soups, butter, canned fish, cheese, condensed milk, cooking oil, corned beef, evaporated milk, flour, fresh milk, grits, margarine, mayonnaise, mustard, powdered detergent, rice, soap, and tomato paste. And cheese includes all types of cheese except for cream cheese and liquid cheese. And soaps does not include body wash, liquid soap, hand soap, household soap, and dishwashing liquid. And bread does not include pita wraps, soft flour tortilla breads. And liquid margarine isn't included. Oh my goodness. Liquid margarine is included in margarine.
Why?
I don't know. And all pre-cooked, instant and microwavable rice and seasoned rice is not included in rice. Wow, this is a lot. Okay, all right. And and then there's more. Of course, there's the VAT-free medication list. All prescription medication and most over-the-counter medication are VAT-free. The VAT-free classification of medication is also based on the zero-rated tariff list. Okay, yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. And the VAT-free medication list, and we don't know if medication that's going to continue to be exempted yet. So VAT-free antibacterial medication, anti-chafing, antifungal, anti-itch, anti-nausea, aspirin, eye, ear, and nose medication, cough, cold, and allergy, fluid replacements, heartburn and indigestion, hemorrhoid medication, pain and anti-inflammatory, pain and fever, peroxide, rubbing alcohol, soaking salts, stool softener, and laxatives. But vitamins and supplements, first aid kits, and medical devices, not included in that. Yep. Okay. All right. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne.
Hi. Good morning.
Hi. Hey, Dwight, that's about 20 to 25 items you just name off for the bread basket items, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So look at it. Let's say if the grocery store has 300 items, and let's say now the ones who can afford it now, they're paying 10%. But they're now also only paying 10% on the few items. Obviously, the ones who could afford it obviously is getting a better break. So the average man's obviously still paying. So it's not really a break for the poor like that. You know?
Right.
Because the amount of items you have, how many of the bread basket items you're going to buy? So it's still a break for the person who can afford it. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying. A lot of people have been saying that this morning. Thank you very much. Okay.
Pleasure.
All right. Well, as a previous caller says, there's still time. They might have a change of heart. I don't know what that will do for their numbers and their projections. But good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight, and good morning to your co-host. I'm sorry I missed most of your morning program today as well as the business program. I just wanted to insert something in regards. I think the problem is that we always try to do analysis without sufficient data. And one of the things is that I think that we should be asking for the data analysis to support the position of the increase to what, the decrease of VAT across the board and the increase of VAT on bread basket items, so that we can actually see proportionately where the increases and decreases are. But as to the argument being made by government that they will have a social safety net in place to catch whatever it is that those who's affected that needs the aid. Well, just from topical information that's available in the data pool, you can generally see that wholesome truth. You have to ask yourself, is probably 70%, 80% of the people, what is the average income they made? We can ask national insurance for that. And chances are it's all under the $40,000, the $200 a week wages. So if you even take 10% of the full wage, that'll be $40 a week. Social services provide a certain amount you can do across and see what it is, because 100% of the money is not spent on bread basket, even though proportionately they spend more money proportionately on their total income on the bread basket items. And so if it is true of how many people that are already on the social safety net, how many people will remain on the social safety net based on the current economic condition, and you probably see that the statement by the government hold some form of credibility. But one of the things that we need to simply ask to is provide us with the data that supports the positions that's being put into the public domain, and I think that's what the media should ask for.
Okay. We have some of it. But something more in depth I think you're asking for. Yep, sure. That sounds good. You can always use more information. This is a great question here. Does that increase in the pensions, and you should pick up today's copy of The Guardian to read more about that, and you heard it in the news, but does that increase in the pensions include disabilities assistance? I don't know the answer to that. It's a good question. This one here, I'm not taking the PLP seriously until they introduce a progressive tax. They are still maintaining a consumption and flat tax. They protect the wealthy. Since bread basket items have an upper limit on cost, the VAT cost of purchasing the items were spread over all other items as overhead markup. Well, that is quite possible. This one says, I find it comical that young women are praising the increase in pension and completely ignoring the increase in feminine products. Okay.
I think there's been a protest. I can't say that it's primarily young women, but I think people in general have been, since yesterday, talking about the increase. And, I like to remind our listening public that you can have feelings, ideas, opinions. You can be vocal about more than one thing. Because I'm excited that the pensioners are happy that the pensioners will be receiving an increase, doesn't mean I'm not also disturbed that there is an increase on VAT. We can talk about both. We're able to walk and chew gum.
Apparently some aren't, but most of us can. Yes. Here's a text. There's a difference between a promise and a financial obligation. People are just interested in this $1 billion understated contingencies. Politicians know exactly what they're doing when they drop supposed bombshells, playing on the ignorance and emotions of the electorate. Well, as we've been saying all morning, I believe that was a bit of a distraction from some other stuff that's about to happen. This, can't read that one. Yeah. Insurance low, what now? What? Insurance low-income light bills have to be zero rated. What? This cannot be tolerated. What's going on? Some words are missing. Words are missing. I'm trying to decipher it. I can't. Okay. We'll go back to the calls. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning to all.
Hi.
Mister, how is it possible, right, for us to have more revenue, right, by taxing a higher number at a lower rate? That's impossible. You know, if let's say tax 10%, I mean $100 at 10%, and then $200 at 5%. That's the same revenue. That's the same sum. You know, so that they need to explain that. I sure can't explain that. You know, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much. No wonder people are unhealthy. The breadbasket list is full of fat. Well, remember, a previous Minister of Health, Dr. Dwight, tried to change it. There was an uproar after he suggested adding much healthier items. People were carrying on.
He got some pushback from that.
Quite a lot. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen, but they were proposed. It's supposed to be under consideration. Is it still? But it's supposed to be under consideration, but there were a lot healthier things were supposed to be added. And, oh my. Well, that's how we do it. That's how we do it. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Okay. This one says here, it's going down on gas, superwash, all those things. What is up with these messages? These things, they're riddles. They're riddles. They don't really make sense, the text messages. I don't know. All right, and we'll take our final call. Let's take our final call this morning. Caller, good morning. You're on Morning Blend Business. Hi, good morning, caller. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hello? Yes, what's happening with these? Okay. I think that's a sign of the verb. Yeah. Will VAT be added to energy bills that now are under $300? We talked about it earlier. It appears that they will not do that. That they're going to stay put with where things are on the
for right now.
For right now, yeah.
For right now.
But it's not clear about the insurance, medication, and water bills as well. So we'll know more in the coming weeks. And we'll be watching it very closely.
Stand by.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Brace yourselves, though, as we've heard. Again, we keep talking about it.
And I think it was intentionally, worded that way, that definitely, because they were very definite in terms of the power. But the other items were kind of left out there.
Right.
So
calculations are still going on. The wheels are still turning, and they're waiting to see what will work, what wouldn't work, projections, waiting for the numbers to come in. But again, we need them to keep in mind, and everybody to keep in mind, what's happening globally in terms of the supply shortages and the shipping catastrophe out there, and just how bleak so many people are expecting things to look, especially on some of the shelves by December and into the new year. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. All right. So, Laverne, thank you so much, as always.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
And we are going to be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
have a new text message from Scotia.
Scotiabank is adding text messaging to its communication channels to keep customers updated in quicker and safer ways. As of November 4th, Scotiabank will be using text messaging to provide notifications on the minimum payment required for your credit card and due dates. Customers may continue to access their credit card statements on Scotia Online or through our mobile banking app. Learn more by contacting customer care-bahamas at scotiabank.com or call 356-1697.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.